Saturday the 8th of April, and we're here on this glorious day to start the very first day of design and planning for what are going to be a series of structures built in the gazebo. The gazebo that's down by the Flinders Community Permaculture Garden. The gazebo is massive and it's incredible, and it took 8 years to get that gazebo from a vision to something that is tangible. Now, after many years later, we're here to begin the process of designing and planning the walls, bench seating, kitchen space slash hopefully pizza oven, and not just those structures that are going to be built with alternative construction methods, but also the peripheral grounds and space around that gazebo as well. And so there's a lot of scope there. And we have Kegan Daly from Of the Earth Permaculture Designs, and he was former president of the Flinders Community Permaculture Garden, and he's now a Strawbale construction guru, as well as being very knowledgeable in all alternative construction methods. And so he's here for today, tomorrow, to work us through a whole design and planning workshop.
My name is Kegan Daly. I'm a natural builder and permaculture designer. I run my own small business called Of the Earth, building permaculture landscapes, which basically says it all. So today is the introductory day to the permaculture and natural building design workshop. We've got a group of 10 people together who are starting to explore the design principles behind permaculture, as well as the methods and materials used in natural building. From today, we're hoping to generate the beginnings of some big ideas that can be actually built and planted in the permaculture garden and the Strawbale gazebo area, and hopefully further afield. So some of the ideas we're exploring: different natural building wall systems, so Strawbale walls, rammed earth tire walls, different permaculture landscape techniques like food forest, no-till mulching, native plant regeneration, and we're looking at how we can grow the garden outwards into areas of the campus which are currently neglected and undernourished.
I'm doing a course of biodiversity conservation. I think this natural kind of building is a great way to great thing to incorporate into conservation and biodiversity in general. I think the principles of permaculture, although I've been doing some permaculture work down at the garden, I haven't done it myself really, just been learning through the people there. And seeing those principles and seeing how applicable they are to everyday life as well. And the goals of sustainable building, I think. A lot of learning so far, and it's hard to pick a highlight really.
Today we met as a group to discuss some of the details of the building and permaculture designs that we'd like to implement over the next month and into the future. So we discussed details of the natural building structures that we'd like to incorporate into the gazebo, fulfilling functions of education, creating a communal social space that people can interact with one another, as well as food preparation and cooking area that will be a combination of a pizza oven, bench space. People can engage over the harvesting of food and the cooking of food. We also did a landscape reading exercise where we went through various areas of landscapes on campus and looked at their characteristics, looked at the soil types that were present, looked at the plant life, looked at the slope, access to sun, and had a discussion around what sorts of productive capacities these ecologies had. Everyone was very clear in communicating their vision, so that within the space of 2 or 3 hours The vision evolved very, very quickly, and by the end of it, everyone stood back and realised that we'd come up with a very comprehensive and detailed vision of what we want the end product to look like.
We've been planning the gazebo and the areas around it as well. I think it's great. I've learnt a lot over the last 2 days. I guess the main things I've learnt maybe is more so the layout and just where things, the zones and putting things in certain areas and the way that it works together as a whole. I think I'm most excited about maybe actually just the structure of the walls themselves and being able to use different craft methods, like bottles and things like that. Being able to design and put your own little stamp on things with other people that are that interested in that kind of thing. Everyone's ideas coming together is great as well. It's pretty unique and special, I reckon. I think everyone should have a go. That's something I think. So I reckon you're going to learn a lot and you're going to take away that kind of stuff and look at your own place and your own community and things, as well as your own backyard, and go, I could have done this differently and I can do things differently. And it's very empowering, especially in this day and age where I think we're so used to going to a shop or going to go pay someone to do it for us. It's a nice feeling.
So the next stage is a detailed stage converting the discussions we've had today over design and function and putting them down on paper to a point where we can see exact measurements, exact building materials, how those building materials are going to interact with one another, what they're going to look like when they're completely finished, to then be able to take that to the university for another discussion and hopefully an approval stage, which will involve engineering and potentially council approval. Once all that's been overcome, we're then going to conduct another workshop where we'll actually be constructing various elements of the gazebo.